Yo, we back again. If you're throwing in the towel, then you're back in sin. We need the Holy Spirit, please let the chaplain in. He at the front door chilling with the childish grin. We can now begin. Now the truth be told, we're riding on the light to let the youth get old. And following the one that will soothe your soul and take your bad situation and improve your role to release your flow. It's a long stretch to loosen all the nooses from the baby's necks. And tell the young ladies they should say the sex. And tell the young guys not to break their neck for the place of sex. But get the paycheck. And real women really don't play that. A wise lesson learned really, really way back. I used to okay that. The Lord saved me, Jack, from a life of whack. Come on.
You took the black light, exited the back.
Oh,
You took the black light, exited the back. You
yeah, you might want to start paying attention on this next verse.
You took the black light,
Give me
exited
your
the
attention for a minute. Damn. We from the same cut, but playing different positions. A top secret message got the president attention. Do what you do, just make the good folk listen. And trust me, yo, it's not about who you kissing. There is a plan to see you chewed up and shit out. The devil's burning bread from the fire that we spit out. We on to get up, the hell with that down low. Cherish the gift of the wisdom that we found, yo. Still on the mission with the daily agenda. Your head's been cloudy, so I doubt that you remember that I walk with the king of kings beside me. Just like the root in India, I read. I volunteer, no, the Lord didn't hire me. It is the spirit that inspired me. Water of life to show the chief where the fire be. We have no time for those that be acting grimy.
Yeah, I get it.
You see the light now? Boy, I've been talking to y'all for a while. You see, you thought this was for like some type of game. Man, revolution. Yeah. When you free your mind, your ass will follow. That's for real. And some of y'all locked up so bad, don't nobody have to put chains on you. Hell, you chain yourself down mentally, spiritually. Come on, free your mind. You a king. Free your mind, chick. You a queen.
That's what they think. But there ain't no queens and kings.
Let me get something with some feel to it, some funk to it. Come on. I think I like that. Can we get some heavy drums in there? More like Caribbean, soul, Caribbean. Yeah. Yes. Bounce to this. I'm just a black man, title, yo, you give me that. I like them imports, never push the Cadillac. And would you figure, Mr. Man, while you kicking back with sick plans to get you stacked, making chickens fat? You know you into that, chilling with your timber cat. Intoxicated to the point, past sinful acts. Be very nimble, Jack, or Jill will get a water back. And have your heart broke just like a heart attack. Look where your power at, no, not the mitral cats. It's deeper than tats and hurricanes and old maps. The spirit flows, so my folks throw daps. Meant for the wise as well as the spoiled rats. So you can fold up or either you can fold back. I hold no judgment over those that have chose crack. To rob a habit that has been proven to hold back. With God on your side, you can get your soul back. Yeah. We need some 3 parts on this, man. Boys and chorus, come on, line up. Yo, I need y'all 3-part harmony on this. I don't know how you can work it out, but work it out. Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose your soul? Into the room, you feel a certain doom. You might lose your hearing from the sonic boom. Out of the mouth is a sword, and I'm taking you out. You try to stop me?
I'll keep it quiet for a while. Let everybody just come on now. Do something a little different. You see that they tried that This is what happens. I went and researched the music. So it's ToLU'S music, and it's not a copyright. And I could have disputed, but what I want to do is I want to let these little monkeys be practical in their stupidity, attempting to do the dumb shit they do. I'm not troubled or bothered by it. I don't think they get it. I really think they think that they're testing. What they don't realize is that their whole experience, anyway, they're fucking stupid. And I love it. So I'm going to reiterate something this morning. I'm going to clean it up. Well, I didn't say it in a mean way. I told the truth, but I'm going to clean it up in a way that's, because, you know, we still have a lot of sisters, our magnificent, powerful sisters who are ignorant as fuck. So we want to clear that up this morning. I don't care about your feelings and your emotions. The last thing I care about is your fucking your emotions and your feelings, because they're not real. May feel like they're real, but they're not real. Speak a little bit about this government. Speak a little bit about what's on the agenda as far as Australia, New Zealand, one and the same, and some other places. And I'm not into politics, because those are politics, as you know. I already clarified that the government was hijacked. Then they murdered Lincoln, old Abe. And many of you in the South know a whole bunch of old Abes. You don't know no Peckerwood ones, but you know a whole bunch of melanated ones, a whole bunch of so-called nigga Abes. Matter of fact, in the 100, is it 100-year lynching, or is it in? There were old Abes in the Indian communities, okay, but that's not for here or there. So I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come in and say salutations for the morning, because if you're a bunch of government agents, you better know how to say salutations as well. Don't be practical in your stupidity. And then we're going to address a couple of things. There's certain individuals I truly enjoy watching, even though I abhor their fictional the profession. I ain't talking about as far as what they were trained or accepted, or I'm talking about the narrative in the world of monetary gain. Or a lot of them logistically have a phenomenal approach at things, and because they're tacticians, egos are diabolical. Like I said, they're very diabolical. I gotta take these downstairs. Why is this even here? Okay. Carbon dioxide. Excuse me. Oh, I had a pretty restful night. Lord, what's going on, beloved Marcus? What's going on, beloved? Yeah, let's let everybody come on in. We're going to keep it silent. I start off playing music, but it may rain. I'm thinking about if it rains. I'm going down to Wawi. I'm going to video record some things. And then I'm going to the range because I want to shoot in the rain. I have a thermal. I have a few things, but when it rains here, it gets a little dark. So I'm going to go and shoot from this certain specific place that I don't like telling nobody that's dark. I want to look in and then I want to look out and see how the thermal reacts. This one's I done some things to it. Okay, so anyway, so I might go out there and try that out. I was going to go last night. I had about that much of wine, then I had about that much, and the rest of it was sitting here. The wine bottle, I gave it to them. They were doing their little fixing up. Got some Chinese neighbors, 3 women. And whenever you say hi and they don't speak, then you're dealing with agents. I make enough noise in here. My voice carries so deep. I'm not into making people scared, but I noticed that because if I crack my windows, I can see out. They really can't see me in, see in. And they're looking at my window. And one of them's going, just cracking. They don't know what they're looking at. And I walked right out the door, and they was like, bustling in the car, and they were going out. But like I said, we're gonna discuss a few things. But first, we're gonna clean it up with the sisters, my beloved, my magnificent. Yehuda means beautiful, beautiful sisters, because y'all are still a very fractured, um, sentient being. So therefore, and I don't like saying people and persons. I don't like that legalese. It's just all stupid. But we're gonna clean some things up, and I don't have to research it. I would ask you to have a little candor and research the stuff yourself. And like I said, a lot of you know what I'm going to be speaking about. It needs to be addressed. You can't pick up the pieces if you don't know where the pieces lay. A friend of mine told me this joke. I got tons, you know. I was talking about, you know, taking everyday words and utilizing them. So, a friend of mine asked, before he told me the joke, he says, "Hey, Red, well, could you take herpes and put it in a sentence?" I was like, "Of course. That's easy. That's old school stuff." And I was like, and everybody knows I'm a big pizza fan, and I like a smash burger, like real burger. I used to make them on a reservation and make shepherd's pies for everybody, you know, doing the certain their trip that they do for a long time with drums and guidance in a circle, and they don't eat for that 12 to 24 hours. It's usually peyote, okay? And I've done it a few times. I prefer lighter stuff. I don't need mental stimuli at all. Like that. I don't need that. See, I know I think with my heart. I just know it. That I'm not here to make you think anything else, because a lot of you think you're thinking up here. No, this is a Rolodex. You're pulling information down, then logistically you're bringing it down to your gut because of a certain feeling, which is not a feeling, it's a memory boost, and then your heart contemplates dryness, wetness, hardness, softness. I'm not here to make you believe in anything. You gotta dig deep and research this stuff. I'm only giving you teasers and little cups of tea. But I says, yeah, you know, herpes. Yeah, I ordered a pizza and took my piece and I gave her piece. You know, I mean, it's simple stuff. And he was like, "You heard the joke before?" I was like, "Is that the joke, bro?" He was like, "Dude, this is like some years back, man." And I got a bunch of them. Chicken, you name it. I mean, when I started naming McDef, the kid, taking the kids, you know, I was like, "Hey, what y'all want to eat?" "We want McDonald's." I'm like, "You think I'm gonna drive 48 minutes to Page, Arizona?" I lived on a reservation to pick you up Stromboli's Pizza, which you call it R&D, or which you call it Sticks, Slackers, burger. Man, I go up in the fridge and I bring the ground beef down, chop the onions. Now this is how we made it. Chop the onions, right? Yellow onion's the best one, y'all. I don't care what you say. Crush up a couple pieces of garlic, like real mince, like. Get the ground beef, hit it with a little bit of, you know, ever seen saltwater salt flakes, like they're kind of big, crumble a little bit, or some black Hawaiian salt, hit it with a little pepper, slap them onions and them damn garlic and make them big ass patties. And I always had a little press for my steak, because I used to make the big steak on the grill, but I always wanted to get the lines just perfect, you know what I'm saying? So you get the grid factor and do on the other side. So I would do the smash burgers, and I made my own bread. Yeah, I wasn't big on even the organic sprout and grain bread. Grain's not really all good for you unless your system's cleaned out. Your flora is good. Your gut, you know what I'm saying? If it's good, then grains can be beneficial as long as they're not stripped. You know what I'm saying? But I would make bread like artesian, and it'd be real airy and holy. And then the cheese, I would, and I know some of you know about this order, because the people talk about cheese and moldy. Oh, shut the fuck up. Now, if you got cheese growing black mold, something's wrong. Fermented cheese is good for you. Stop being. That's why it's important to learn how to make it, so they don't put folic acid from roach, India bug poo and all the other stuff, which they say it grows from a mold, but they don't tell you the truth, like shellac and all that other stuff, which comes from roaches. So I would order my cheese from a certain place, and I usually would have it sent to the PO box at Spirit gas station. So I would make these burgers, man, the best burgers in the world. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, I started naming these places when I take the kids: McDuff, Chick-fil-A, Burger Kill. You know what I'm saying? The domino effect. Who the fuck wants to eat Little Jesus, Caesars? I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. Ever since I remember my son listening to Stop, Drop, Shut Him Down, Open Up Shop, or, DMX, Rough Riders Anthem, you know what I'm saying? And he was just a little, 3-year-old in the back. French fries, French fries. And I'm like, okay, let's head on over to Mickey D's and I get the French fries. And then working for Cisco, we were the first ones to incorporate the SIM system, which is the way to be able to count your stocks and do it digital. So it goes to, and we were the first ones, Cisco food distribution or warehouse. And I started out on the dock loading because I just wanted to be doing something to, keep my strength. And even though I wear my back brace and my, but I, my 30s. And I was so good at loading trucks, I actually beat out the number one guy that been at this company since its inception, and they made me a dock foreman, and I knew how to drive the trucks. I didn't have no CDL, so I backed the trucks up because so-and-so was drunk or somebody was on a crack diet. So it's just I was out there whipping them big ass, whip back Peterbilts and whipping them with the 40-foot trailer. You got your refrigeration, your cooler, and your dry. And I would take these new cats coming in there because people didn't stay unless you were a selector. If you knew how to ride them carts and go through the freezer, or you select the dry or whatever. And then I would work the reach and all that, and I would assist as a dock foreman. I didn't just sit out there barking orders. This truck's got to get out and blah blah blah. All stressed. I was like, "What's wrong?" Oh man, I whip around in the reach. What Spoolie did, watch the dock, pick, pull the whole thing down. We're talking about a big warehouse, like 20 rafters up with the reach, Then we had the one that, was like a big thing slot. And so when I was reading about those fries, because people were like, "Yo, Red, I know you be taking your son to get the McDonald's. I want you to check something out." I told you I don't know everything, and I was like, "Nigga, what kind of tater is that?" He said, "Man, them taters are sprayed with everything." And then actually we had a guy in management who worked for McDonald's, and he was like, "Man, just put the stuff in the freezer, sip it out. It's money, y'all." That's how dumb the world is. There are people who work in companies. Think about the people making the ramen noodles. Y'all ever watch the videos of how they make that? You ever watch how they slaughter the animals? I mean, you really need to pay attention. They know what's about to happen to them. So I've always been saying these things, but when I saw that, Jimmy wasn't getting no more McDonald's French fries, not bought by me. He wasn't getting no more McDonald's anything, okay? Because it's all messing people up. Now, I know some of you went out and you've enjoyed and partook in some things you probably should not partake in. And ergo, we get into the discussion of feelings and emotions. I'm not telling people not to have feelings and emotions. Who am I to tell you what to do? That's like telling this fake government is fictional, that you know the history of it and it's all a lie, and informing the people who don't know when many people around, we all, we know. But why do I go at the women? I haven't went at the women hard. I've been going at the brothers, really. But women, you need it too. Because, as I stated in one video, I says, it's funny how certain women want to run over and be all with this feminist queen bullshit and sit there argumentative like they're ready to go out and go to battle. You women are nowhere near ready, capable, or able to battle anything or anyone. You can't even battle your own lies. You can't. I mean, I could prove it. But what I wanted to say was, two individuals commented, and I said, well, let me come and clean it up for them, because ignorance is bliss. If you research since 1980, the drug thing, we can go back to the 60s, but how many brothers, I'm gonna throw scenarios out there. I knew a number of women in Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, who wanted money from their men because they had a crack happen, and it was starting to get bad before anybody knew it, and some of the men were involved. And what happened? The women set them up because they still had, and literally got killed. And we're talking about thousands. I know about because I used to have a trap house, two of them on First and Irvington, New Jersey. Anybody know about Irvington? It was little Vietnam, worse than Chicago, worse than Delaware. And Delaware was like the murder capital, and probably still is. And they don't talk about it because it's Delaware, just like behind D.C. You know how many brothers have been taken into trap houses? I know this one complex where I was a SP, armed security, because I was thinking about becoming a deputy sheriff or a sheriff, cost Constitution, and I started seeing how corrupt the goddamn cops were. And I had to whoop that one police officer, Puerto Rican police officer's ass, wanted to hit hard on the 14, 12-year-olds and hurt them. So I fucked them up at Ralph Schuler's Underground Taekwondo. I beat the shit out of him. But, you know what I mean? And this one complex was pretty big. You would think that it's like, what you call it in Georgia, the way it was set up. But there were a number of trap houses with the crack epidemic. And every week, at least 10 young brothers were being murdered, taken in their setup, some smoking crack, some going to purchase. I mean, that's how low down some of these worthless niggas were, but the women were setting them up. And they wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for that. False promises, sex, all that promise, the things that are breaking our families. I'm not even going to get into the wolf, cry wolf. I've even had to deal with that. When y'all lie and you believe that you can walk away with it. I can't even get into the numbers that I research in the melanated community. Where y'all, and even with the police coming, even with harming yourself, I knew 15 women who were married to veterans who would cut and literally bump their head in the walls and punch themselves, or have the friend punch them and then blame it on, and the cops will come because they had guns, they end up shot. And I'm talking about not surviving. See, I'm just giving a little parameter, but if you know how to research things, that's why I say sociology is my major. Y'all have killed more of your brothers. And when I lived in the Bronx and I was dating a certain young lady in Queens, a couple of very good rappers were set up. Yeah, meet me over in so-and-so. And they see them, they get out the vehicle, they walk over there, and the guy comes around the corner. It was always the same story. House full of women, numbers being ran, 2 different stores, new guys on the block. A month later, it's like the black window syndrome. I don't even want to get into, and now we know that there's a lot of sisters that have died. But what I'm saying is, y'all just don't know the numbers. And then how many brothers are locked up who shouldn't be. Some brothers out here don't have their heads together. And they can get finagled and have that sunshine thrown on them. And they go and talking about, I'm not a snitch. Their ass has been locked up for 25, 30 years. And she done ended up dead because she done set the wrong motherfuckers up when it was her that's supposed to have been locked up. By the narrative, because it's a POW. It's all, that's enslavement. That's what the prison system is, for those who study and know really what it is. So with that little bit of information, you can do more research, sisters. We need y'all to come up out of that and help other sisters come up out of that. And we need brothers to be more aware and be better at choosing. To every one of us, there's 9 to 10 of you. Okay? I look at some of the little sisters in the gangs. Y'all are some what? Who? Talking about the guys. Shit. That's wrong energy focused in the wrong direction. And it's not blaming you. It's so we can lift each other up to the place of real power and real protection. And that gay shit is not ours. I don't care about the ones doing it. The flaming rolls with dicks and tits. I don't care about the who's interviewing. I don't care about them. It's like, you know, my godfather, my uncle, the one I showed you a picture of. Yeah, he was gay, but you would never know it. And he made sure we didn't know it. Even though we knew it. And see, those, regardless of his afflictions or what happened or whatever, shooting that shit up. And being in the wrong places. He'd been around them places, man. I think he went to the Bohemian Grove. I'm just putting it out there. All right? Even he feared the fact of what may be coming. And he was like, we need men. We got to have strong men out here protecting these beautiful women, these sisters of ours. These are our biological, not achievements, but our biological, by the term biological, they don't impede us. That's what's happening now. Significance. That's our biological significant others. That's it. We're not talking about this system's fake ass marriages and anything else. We're not talking about some rib shit. We're talking about the reality of the situation. And there's no balance. So when I said that at the end, it was because it's real. So for those who like to do some research, please do some research. Because our people are way out of tune. They're jacked up beyond all jack. But damn it, we need our women to be the women, the sentient ones they're supposed to be. The womb, the place of warmth and comfort. And we need that which is supposed to be the security, the protector, that keeps that home uninvaded and secure. All right, so I hope that made sense, because it's really a sad situation. Ever since the 60s, when fake ass government came in there with the diabolical plans, and we're not even talking about Michael Singer, that had already been going on, and saying, look, we're going to help you out here. When they gave it free to all these monkeys getting off the boat in the 20s and 40s. And here it was after they stole the land and everything else, and all these men went to war and came back fucked up because of, you know, who was introducing the opium, just like they brought down the land of Xi and created China. They fucked them up. I told you they brought them here to cultivate the poppy seeds in South America, slaves. And a man wasn't supposed to be in the house, and they would receive assistance, government assistance. Just newly put in these ghettos where these Gujars once lived, where they conspired against you. And the dope had already been there, and then you have these worthless Negroes supported with women under their arms who would care less about you, stick you in the eye with a knife, because they're living this fictional life, walking around with chinchillas and everything else. All right? So it became, that was the real parlay after the lynchings, which even happened up until, what, a handful of years ago. Remember the brother that was dragged behind the truck with chains? They were picking his, I saw the actual footage where they picked up his body parts, took pictures. I saw the real pictures of his body, torn apart. And right now, most of the lynchings right now are happening by police officers, off duty, drunk partying, picking and choosing who they want to kill. These kill cults in the fake ass police department. And because y'all are not together, you have the same synapses. Now, you don't have 500 or 1,000 people running down to burn you at the tree. But you men aren't what you were. And you women are far from what you're supposed to be. Right now, strategically, they're moving around everybody and doing what they got to do. And I know some of you are going to be sitting there in about 5 or 6 months. Damn it, Ganja and Red had that offer. What the fuck was I thinking? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll just say to you, shut the fuck up. Don't want to hear it. We're not here to baby one another. We're supposed to be obedient to one another in our truth of existence. Some of you have a hard time with that. Only reason why you have a hard time with it is because you choose to make it hard. The world has become so goofy complicated, or complicated in the most goofy way. Like I stated last week, before the weekend, that you're comfortable. You have been nurtured and raised in it, and nurtured in it, that it seems practical. To be in that fake turmoil that you find these little spurts of good, and you can't even rationalize where it's coming from. Yeah. So have a look into that. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Excuses. Always excuses. What's the I don't remember it. So what's the saying about excuses? If somebody knows it, put it up. I appreciate it. Excuses are like what? That just popped it right up. Michaelix. Oh, man. They normally stink. Less excuses and more execution. That's how you move forward. That's one. The day 20 minutes away from that situation. You stop making any. Okay. The day you take complete responsibility for yourself, the day you stop making any excuses, that's the day you start to move to the top of your existence. I know what y'all going to say. Excuses like buttholes, everybody's got one. No, I'm not going to sit here talking about culos. Y'all know what I mean when I say culos. No, and see how the mind is? Everybody wants to think, stinking thinking. Yeah, brother, you typed that question. No, I wasn't going for that, boy. This is what I was going for. The day you take complete responsibility for yourself, the day you stop making any excuses, that's the day you start to rise to the top. Rise. Okay? Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's one of the ones we used when I was in the military. I was like, what? Like, I ain't making no excuse. I usually don't say nothing. When I was in the military, I didn't make excuses about nothing. I was like, what? We did that? When the police came up Miramar, and when I whooped that big boy behind and was throwing my lieutenant in first class, that I was throwing them I was throwing and slinging them all over the place, breaking this guy up. And when the city, the Sunshine Saloon, whatever it was called. It was the swinging doors you go in. That dude knocked me through the doors, off the 4 or 5 steps, down into the gravel, which was the parking lot. I remember they said I popped up like some Carrie Fisher, like, whoop! And they said I snatched that dude one hand, and I'm much smaller. I was a powerlifter and all that, but with one hand I snatched him out. It's the whole story. And they said he was like 1.5 feet taller than me, probably got me by about, 60, 70 pounds. They said I got the whopping. They were trying to. They said I had one knee on his chest, stomach, doing, and then every time they came over, they said I would just take my left arm and throw their asses, throw them over. Like all I saw was red. And so the next day, at the hangar, this is some months after that, my Mexican girl got caught up and sucked up into the 14, and they had to they had to remove all the meat, everything what was left of her. They had to remove it out of the blades, the turbofan. Anyway, it was about a month, something. Anyway, they came there, the base police, and they says, we're looking for the man that we heard he's here. Because it had to be reported, lieutenant there, and da da da. I had XOI, and XO was just like, did you give him a good one? I was like, I beat the shit out of him, sir. Sir. He was like, that's how we do it. But anyway, when they came in there, I remember I was back by the aircraft, by the F-18. I was going over some things because we have to write what we find that's wrong with certain things, or when we have to pump hydraulic fluid or grease, certain things we have to take care of the air structure, because it had what they call grasshopper legs with the wheel on it that would fold up into the F-18, that when it landed, it would like a grasshopper. Anyway, on my CDL, collateral duty inspection, my CDI, I was CD qualified, collateral duty inspector. And I did not only launch the pilot because he selected me, because I was one of the best at the hand signals of launching, all that, you know what I'm saying, and sharp, wearing the overalls that we wore that were, creased like Blue Angels type thing, and the sharp boots, but also worked with all the shops to inspect their stuff and work on my stuff, and I would have to show them what was required besides being the plane captain, but also for the ordnance, and then depending on what the weapons and we used, and being able to do the checks. And so I was on the side doing that, and I remember I saw one badge, then I saw another uniform, and I was like, oh, they here for me. My hand was a little swollen, So I walked right out. Yeah, I'm right here. It's Petty Officer Branch. Yeah, I whooped that boy's ass, gentlemen. Mr. Branch, they was like, not today. Not today, guys. We had an important Top Gun. Top Gun, I don't know if it exists anymore, but I've been there twice. And the one cop was like, y'all, he's in the hospital. Did y'all see what he did to him? And that's when Coxon was like, yeah, he threw us around to beat his ass after the guy snuck him. You don't hit something if you don't know what you're going to get back. And I was protecting three sisters, because we were riding in Jeeps like that Top Gun with the roof down, drinking and having a good time. But I really wasn't drinking, We're 10,000 feet up elevation. PT's a mother. And we're there for PT. We had to run our PT. Anyway. Like, everybody was sitting there going, we didn't know you were capable of that. I was like, when is the last time we all went out hanging out and drinking together? We're on the deck, sir. Coaxum, you never hang out with any of us. He was a shop, ordnance shop, first class petty officer. He was grateful I was there because I knew everything I was doing, especially when it come to emerald precision equipment and stuff, which is very tiny stuff. And I beat the smack out that guy. He was actually older than me, but he's big as a damn truck. And ever since then, it was just me do the job, and everybody was kind of like just looking like don't say, like, be careful. They were like, I was like, what's going on, man? Man, we act up and act a fool all the time. It's like there ain't nothing changed. But see, when people see what you're really capable of, that shows you the dynamics of ignorance. So that means that a lot of people in your circles are always pushovers. And a lot of times you are too. But it should never be about violence. It's just that I was just a little different from what they knew. I was the one that liked to be quiet and just do my job the best I could, be the best I could at doing what I was doing. Now we have this world where everybody thinks they're being the best or doing the best, but it's in this fictional world, and it's still division. It's marginalized. It's just so what is the depravity? You know what I'm saying? And I never made an excuse. I would say exactly whatever it was. I was never nobody to snitch. But if I was there and you was part of it, I'd tell the story exactly how it's supposed to be told. Man, what, you just told on him. No, he did that himself. He told himself by his actions. Fuck that. And then he wants to hide? Pussy. See, I'm different. You run around out here thinking you's a bad motherfucker in the hood, shooting at people, right? You's a pussy. You don't want me in that hood. Not only am I going to let them know, you better hope that me and some of my homies don't catch you. I don't care how bad you are, what you think you are. There's a difference. And that's on the brothers, but it's also on the sisters. We got to pull ourselves together and stop being the hypocrisy that they made us. We've lost our way. From the man being placed out the home, the government's, I mean, come on, y'all. The CIA, Rick Ross, the crack epidemic. I ain't talking about that CO punk, fat, fake, faggot rapper. And that's not hate. It's just what it is. I'm talking about the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. So all the shit he had, all of them, homosexual, all this, that, and other, while they were married. And y'all don't get the hijacking what it is. And yet y'all still want to sit there, staying in your little stuck, fucked up world and think you're going to make a way. That's still holding on to their destructive nature. That's letting them feel safe in in their venture. I don't care who you are. You can't be a nation spread all over the place. It's not how it works. If you study about Tartary, Atlantis, whatever, the Republic. When people come talk to me, man, this democracy. I look at them, man, if you don't get your ass away from me, it ain't no democracy. What is that? Ain't no such thing. It ain't written nowhere, anywhere, other than the ignorance of people looking for something that is. Because if you go look up democracy, they act like it always existed here. It's a lie. But it also shows you the feeble-mindedness of the media and everybody behind it. And the fact that some of you participate in believing in some fake-ass democracy when it has no truth. Let me pull this up, right? You look at the government, right? Let me see if I can, if it's on here. Let me go to my, something I was going to make I was going to build something over there. All right? I was going to make a post with some pictures, but also quite not long, but something very informative. Let me see if I can pull it up. So, a government that seeks to subordinate the individual to the state by controlling not only all political and economic matters, but also the attitudes, values, and beliefs of its population is called totalitarianism. But when you look at this, did I save that? Let's see if it's there. So yeah, I'm gonna read this. And I want you to tell me, damn, why is it? Oh, there you go. It came in clear. I want you to see, and the very first one, the way governments work. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm gonna read 16 of them. But you know what the first one is? The original one. The original one of the world was republic, a government whose authority is based on citizens' voters. Now, citizens is an add-on, and it's been perverted, where they use it to inoculate you with this thought of freedom where they've enslaved you. citizen voters, which are represented by elected or nominated officials chosen in free elections. Well, what did the first thing they do? When were the original Republicans? When they changed it over and you had LBJ and this fake ass black church, they made everybody this fake liberal based on some fake ass democracy because they had certain individuals who were good for the black community that don't exist. And then they murdered those individuals because they were realizing and getting to the bottoms after they were being taken and shown things that they weren't shown before. As I told you, the Fitzgeralds were Irish Jews. And then right after the Republic, and we'll get into the latter ones, you have democracy. Now listen to this horse shit. Democracy means rule of the people. The term today refers to a political system in which the people, a system, you know what system means? The people or their, listen, a system in which the people or their elected representatives govern themselves. What in the fuck kind of that is not freedom, you. And you would think that they would read it, but when you think about theocracy, yeah. Well, they actually have that here. A government where priests rule in the name of God or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided are consistent with the principles of a particular religion. So that's democracy. Y'all, theocracy is the same as democracy in a sense. They all think they're some kind of fake ass gods in a way that's supposed to be over you. So there is no freedom. As it says, a system in which the people are their elected officials. And that's funny when it says a government in a republic whose authority is based on the people's votes, which are presented by the elected or nominated officials chosen in a free system of elections. It's not no or, of, for the fucking republic, for which it stands. By the fucking people. Autocracy, a government controlled by absolute power and in the hands of a single person with minimal restraints on the decisions and lack of any mechanisms of popular control. You know who created this garbage. I hate this word. Technocracy, whatever. I hate the word. Really, I do. A government where scientists and technical experts are in control of the state and where rulers are selected on the basis of their knowledge, skill, rather than wealth and power. Technocracy, excuse me. Still based on theocracy, democracy, and autocracy. You would think that these were separate. The republic is the only one showing itself to be the true standing origin. Then you have fascism, which is blatantly, you have these idiots talking about Republicans is fascism. Oh, y'all so stupid. Anyway, a way of ruling that advocates total control of the people and seeks to promote the ancestral and cultural values and eradicate foreign influences. Native American movement, the democracy the Jews created to go against us. While you had them running, doing Hell Hitler and everything else while stealing and destroying our mountains and our lands and then establishing a fake people like a cult-like, all right, after which the history's there. I've read it too many times and broke it down. And that's what you're doing. And even that is based on autocracy and that fake-ass theocracy. Then you get into anarchy. Anarchy is a state of absence of law, a state of lawlessness and disorder, usually resulting from a failure of government. That's when you have young knuckleheads who don't know no better, and they think the way to go is destruction. And that's based on what the democracy, steeped in technocracy and fascism, has permitted by a system of perversions who are sitting there so-called teaching your children. That means indoctrinating your children. That's why I say get your kids, your grandbabies, and your sons and daughters out of these fucking schools. They don't determine shit. Okay? Monarchy. A government where supreme authority is vested in a single and usually hereditary figures such as a king and whose powers can vary from absolute to none at all. That's a democracy. What is the UK and Japan? What is all these other countries running on? Even the ones that you think is Marxist. Democracy. Fascism. Oligarchy. Rule of the few. This is a form of power structure in which power effectively rests with a faction of persons or families. Everybody in this fake ass government has all been related. Prove me other fucking wise. Democracy. Creates anarchy. Y'all remember these goofy ass, fake ass governors talking about Pelosi and Maxine Waters? Go out there and raise. If I was in the back, I'd punch them in the head. Because they got a bunch of young dumbasses who have been conditioned by the Rockefeller Foundation of lies and the Bloombergs and everything else with foreigners on the land teaching your children. Plutocracy. Government ruled by the rich or power provided by wealth, often used to describe a wealthy class ruling a government, often from behind the scenes. It's funny, old Abe, he used to go back home and go back working on the farm. But then when Trump was in there and says, nah, I'll take $1 a year, all the niggas, all the dummies, because of the system of all these autocracy, democracy, technology, fascism, and that monarchy, anarchy, oligarchy, plutocracy, all that, which is steeped in tyranny, which is a government, what you call it, tyranny is, we'll get into that, is what you're dealing with. How come nobody can see this shit? How come? Because they ain't teach you? Tyranny, government or authority of an absolute ruler, arbitrary exercises of power over arbitrary exercise of power over subjects, not requisite for the purpose of government, approved by law and justice. What law? What justice? Again, still fucking democracy. Totalitarianism, you already know that. A totalitarian system is one in which a single political authority regulates total control over a state that is centralized and dictatorial. And that way you can have people who will do the most drastic and deadliest fucking thing to the citizens as people. Because what this motherfuckers will say, that way they don't end up on the chopping block, because you never know the people you're working with who are deeply embedded to make sure that this motherfucker does their work, and they will subjugate anybody by having minions all over the place do some fucking shit. Who remembers the mayor that was running in Mexico? The guy was supposed to be a good one. They had the camera right by his head. It was all set up, and the guy came up, boom, 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 assassinated. That's also based on tyranny. That's based on a monarchy, or plutocracy. All right, that's steeped in fucking a fake ass democracy. It's not a republic. Federation, a political organization, and y'all hear that now all over the place. A political organization characterized by a union of small states, groups, or parties, which are self-governing and in internal affairs and are united under a central government. Ain't that WHO and all that shit? It's another form of fascism or democracy that's steeped in totalitarianism of an oligarch, right? That is plutocracy and a monarchy. That's you're dealing with the anarchy of it all now, with people who you seem like they were supposed to be about something, who are always in the limelight one way or another, but never really in the limelight. Those are the same motherfuckers who was telling you to wear a mask and gooly-goo, get the jibby-jib, right? And all that's falling apart, but it's already affected the damn people. Hell, they even killed the doctor, what's his name, Butter, whatever, when he started telling you about what was really going on. Then you have communism. There's a system of government. All right, communism is when the state owns and operates industry on behalf of the people. Is that what you really saw? Well, now you see in so-called Russia, where the mind of the republic is actually in effect steeped in capitalism, which is more conservative than it is democratic. Because democracy, actually, you don't have control of shit because it says or. And the or is what you're dealing with. Them fake motherfuckers. The junta. A junta, you see there's fights going on right now in Malaysia, Africa. Anyway, a junta refers to a group or coalition that takes control of the state after overthrowing a coup d'etat, overthrowing a government. Usually this is done by military groups. And as you saw even in Palestine, these goofy motherfuckers running around with GS or whatever, those are, and they saying Americans weren't involved over there in Israel and fake in Palestine. Yes, they were. And these motherfuckers, like I said, these are the ones that you really should pay attention to because you know who the fuck it is. But at the same time, what do you think got Russia and Ukraine going? 10 CIA bases? The fuck? All these Delta Force motherfuckers is dying now. The foreign legions, the motherfuckers getting their ass whacked. And dictatorship, a form of government where the power rests entirely on one person or a group of persons. This rule could be acquired by inheritance or force and is usually oppressive. So when you look at this, the only one that's real is the fucking republic, which has even been perverted. Because you always hear about rhinos. But they're all fucking actors. You'd be surprised to find out that you all knew that our government was hijacked. And that's why you had the lynchings. And people leaving and going to different places. We need our brothers and sisters to get in toe and in line. We don't need some special force motherfucker. We don't need this one and this extra. Oh, they're welcome. Because we know something. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, those are for skills and trades, depending on what's going on right now. But the other thing is, people need to be farming and growing your own fucking food. It's obvious a lot of you still like eating the garbage out there. Y'all don't have it like me, where I can get meat from the res, or I can get vegetables and shit, because I left farms, and you know, I can go and get chicken eggs at the real. And every time I buy this shit, it seems like they're fucking it up more and more. You ain't a chicken egg, an egg from a hen coming out from there is protected. You don't have to do the mineral oil rub down and shit like you do on eggs. And you don't have to put them in the fridge. These motherfuckers outside the fridge for 5 days, they start going bad. Because they're putting chemicals and shit on it. And yet they're saying free range and da-da-da. Because I talked to them. I've talked to several of them. Y'all running up there getting Lutheran, trying to disrespect my name and shit. Lutheran? These are fucking monkeys of the Vatican. This is... I know y'all don't study this shit. And I know y'all like, well, how you... Like, it's not about time. It's just simplified shit. It's all simple. You know? So I addressed one, spoke on another, that is part of the first, alluded to another that's important, that you can help shape the minds of others if you just do the little 30, 40-minute little research to pull these little things up and be able to explain it, because a lot of you should have this knowledge or knowing. Don't tell me you're just walking around working and that's all you do. So, oh, excuse me, guys. You just popped up. Didn't they sell eggs and vending machines at one time? I don't know about that. I would never bought it. Antifa and Black Lives Matter is so many more than that. But yeah, Lord, what's going on, beloved? The public fool system, exactly. Max V, what's up, beloved? Ganja, I got you, beloved. Telling lies so people will come to believe it. Democracy, exactly. And then giving them all kind of things and ways to move. And like you see, there's a brother. What was that guy's name? It's his brother. Let me see if I can pull him up. Let me see. He used to have a YouTube channel. And he used to, you know, do the... He wasn't big on the free speech stuff. What was this guy's name? No, not there. My history. My history. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm gonna go and see if I can pull this guy up. Y'all remember Roy LaShawn Williams? Let me pull it up. I'm just gonna type his name in, Roy LaShawn Williams, because I can't find it. Roy, LaShawn. Did I spell it right? Damn notifications. Let me turn these notifications off. God dang nugget. Shit. Okay. So, this is a guy who's big on the Constitution, and these nigger ass and peckerwood ass cops went after him, and in like 2015 and stuff like that, and I think he had security carry his firearm. He was capable. I don't know where he lives at, but he was able to carry his firearm. So because of, you get these little girly ass costume characters, a lot of them now. So the second time when they approached him, they took his gun, pulled him out of the car, and the dude that pulled him out was a faggot. He pulling this thing, looking at his penis. He's talking about, he can shoot his penis off. Everything was about LaShawn's dick, and LaShawn kept his cool and everything, handcuffed. He still stopped talking about my dick. And this is the perversion everybody's dealing with. Some of them walk around like men, got cratered faces, and they're bald headed because the testosterone level's low, and they're big as hell because they're eating everything and taking a bunch of shit. And they learn how to grapple. Everybody can learn how to grapple and fight. Problem is, most of you can't because you walk around with a big head and a big mouth. You're your first fucking responder. You need to know that. And if you don't look at certain individuals like this, and I used to follow and watch. I don't know if he has his account no more, but I watched some of the videos, man, and I was like, what in the world? And you look at these individuals, and they're so comfortable in their mental fucking disparity in these costumes. And the brother was cool. And it's like this retaliation shit and this fake ass court system and the fake ass government that permits it and allows it. Oh, every once in a while, there's people want 100,000, 120,000, 113 million. They're not fixing the fucking problem because the motherfuckers are the leaders of these motherfuckers, the sergeants and these commanders and captains. These are the fucktards that they've allowed and put in position. And when we was reading in here, when you're talking about democracy and you're getting into fascism and monarchy, technocracy and theocracy, and you get into that oligarchy. That's what you're dealing with. And then you look at the tyranny because it's steeped in totalitarianism. Has nothing to do. How do you take people from these beautiful little babies, bring them up in the ignorance of these fucked up families, and then get them in these different programs where it pits people against each other? That's where the division comes. Then you got crayon colors and existence of ignorance, and then you got people that get out there and then they start dealing with dumb motherfuckers that shouldn't exist because most of our people in the 40s didn't carry on like that. But none of them look at this shit. They'll listen to the monkeys over them and think they got everything locked in, just like a lot of you won't look beyond the scope of everything that's going on. Marcus Williams, what's up, beloved? Just want to shout everybody out. Old Mac, what's going on, beloved? Excuse me. All right. And this is what it's come to. Most people don't know. And then some people will start running their mouth. You just shut the fuck up. Don't say a goddamn thing. Now, you got to remember, there's going to be time when some motherfuckers don't say shit and the motherfuckers is out there to get them. And this fake-ass system permits it. The reason why they're doing this, and a lot of motherfuckers in costume don't know about it. And the ones in the position, as we were reading the day before, we were talking about how they insert themselves in certain ways like they did with the church and everything else. I always say Christianity's cool, bro. But you see, they have the motherfuckers that went in there and they come in there with the loose Satanist Bibles and they show them motherfuckers a party because most motherfuckers are broken anyway. And then they come with this new chapter in the fucking if you fuck up, you just ask Jesus to forgive you and it's all good, but don't curse the Father and shit. But don't they have the children against their fathers right now based on ignorance, based on what the woman work did and everything? Come on, man. And the men. So yeah, in a lot of cases, pedophiles and all this other shit. Fucking some sick shit I heard about in Georgia and the motherfucking Carolinas with some of these niggas, these cousins and these uncles. What the But anyway, regardless of that, we're dealing with something that keeps people broken. And nobody's attempting to mend the bond to come together. Everybody wants to know everything and be right. No, where does that come from? Instead of people walking together. What in the fuck? I was just, somebody shared something to me, and I'm surprised Instagram with all that security didn't see it. Somebody shared something to my chat, and he just wanted to know if I knew anything about this. That's the first time I ever saw black women doing shit parties, scat parties. You know what I'm talking about? That, man, the moment I saw, I was like, whoa, them ain't our people, bro. If you one of them people like to be peed and pooped on and all that, you was definitely not our people. You can claim out of Africa, you can claim whatever, man. You can claim you be wherever you want to be from. You was not our people. No, don't ever share nothing like that to me, man. I'm dark, but that's just fucking stupid. Yeah, man. Man. That is not depravity. That's the people who have this. They're really jacked. Their Rolodex is probably doing. You know what? I think it's stuck on a blank fucking page, and they're not processing nothing. You know what I mean? But don't ever share me no other stuff. I don't need. I talked about when I was in France back in the world cruise. The first time we was over there. Matter of fact, it was our third cruise in the 90s. Fourth. Well, shit, I've been on 4 or 5 cruises, but anyway, it was my third cruise. I think in the 90s. Was it before the storm? Anyway, we was in France. We was in was I in Paris? Anyway, there was a porn shop, and we was like, "Yo, man, let's check out there because that porn shops are weird." So we went up in there. You know, we're in uniform though, so we know we ain't coming out there. We ain't buying shit. They're women all over us, and I was just walking with the guys that day because I really wanted to get me one of them croissants with the Swiss cheese, whatever the fuck it is, with that Jah, whatever sauce to dip it in. I just wanted that. I ain't want no meat. I just wanted that. I wanted to have that, with some wine, so I can. I even bought one of them red and white striped shirts and shit. And I didn't wear it. We was in uniform that day, and we went in there, and the first one walked in to the right. There's videos playing, and it's this big ass French woman with this little black poodle walking, and she's got the garters and everything, and the poodle takes a poop, and she lays that fat ass down sideways behind and picks the poop up and start eating it. It was like when my boy left me when homeboy's eyes closed like that first, and I was standing there like this. I just felt his wind, my half Italian, Sicilian, whatever, brother from Chicago. And that's how it was in there. It was like bobby pins and shit was spinning like the witch took off when the 5 of us exited that damn porn shop, and we was like, man, let's get the fuck up out of here. We ain't know what the hell. We went all the way back to Fleet Landing where they're making burgers and hot dogs, and people was drinking beers right there. We said, we're going to hang out here today, and then, I decided to go on my own. I wanted to find a bookstore, and I found a couple of mom and pop bookstores in Paris. Anyway, I said, you know what? No, that was the only time. Now we're seeing sisters doing it. Literally, and they was with pale men, all rubbing it on. This, what the? That's no good. It's not righteous. It's not good. And I know some people want to say, I don't know about being righteous. I didn't say religious. I said righteous. Righteous and religion are 2 separate things. You preach that to the choir. So yeah. Do we have a lot of work to do? Of course. Is it arduous? Should it be tedious? Of course it's arduous, and yes, it needs to be tedious. Only reason why, because a lot of people got to learn. Most people, how many of you think you could sit down and have a conversation with individuals and listen to their most horrendous and horrid stories? Most of you can't handle it. Okay? And then the next part is being able to have those around to say, look, well, you don't have to deal with that no more. Let's move forward. And if you're having bad dreams and stuff, that's when you got to start knowing about, stinging nettle, like different herbs and not overdoing it. Because right now, a lot of these like Shilajit, you take it for a month. You don't take Shilajit for a month. You take it once every 3 or 4 fucking days. Then they say, well, what about they got you eating all these chemicals for all these years, right? And you're jacked up. But if you want to remove heavy metals and this, that, and the other, you really got to get on it. And the first thing, brothers, yes, you got to do it too, is to get an enema. Then you got to hit your fast because you know your body's going to be going through all kind of stuff, getting rid of them worms. But the thing is, what do you use? Most things out here right now, you got to be careful what you choose when you want to flush your gut and get rid of all the parasites. But you can't just get rid of the parasites. You also have to take something to remove the heavy metals. But then when you do that, what have you got? What are you going to put in your system anew? What are you going to change as far as your diet? You've got to have people that can guide you in these directions. You just can't take it upon yourself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Yes, be laid on the floor. It's knotted up. Or in the ER. And them shooting you up with a whole lot of stuff, keeping you right where you was trying to get away from. That's why it's important us to come together. It's not about fighting and ruling, and it's about us coming back and having that community again. They have become so perverted that they don't want you to come together because they're afraid of you. And you have become such an obedient slave to which you were never. A POW that's obedient slave based on fear because you refuse to move as one. Some of y'all got that old goofy ass, I'm married, or I'm this, or I got this job. Oh, man, shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of hearing that broke ass shit. But it is there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I want to come back. I want to read. So it's going to be a couple hours. And I'm going to come back and we're going to get to read. And yeah, I know some of you going, it's Monday. And I'm like, shut up. Just be an obedient ass slave. Work. Get your cash. Pay your fucking bills. I got to go and do some ice water, some ice stuff on my knee. And I got this little thing I don't like wearing on here, this thing for my wrist just to make sure it's kind of tight, but it's got a little electric stimuli in it. So I'm gonna do that, and come on in a couple hours and read. All right. So like I said, I hope I address the two sisters, and I hope that y'all take something from this. But do the research, people. You know, we always want to hide behind a lie, and we want to support each other's lies as if it's valuable. No. Anyway, I appreciate the new subscribers. I appreciate you guys too. And yeah. I'll see y'all here in a couple hours, all right? Be that power, ladies. Brothers, protect them. When I say, you know, when you protect the ladies, you're protecting the children as well. All right, so never forget that. They're the most important commodity, are sentient ones, and they need better tutelage, guidance, and that's where we're slacking at. All right, so see y'all here in a couple hours.